Was 2012 your best year yet?
I think we've got better every year. I really do. It's the first year that we're printed fully in paperback, and that was kind of in response to what our readers were saying. They were like, it's a little too expensive as a hardback book. We love the paperback, so we've just gone, man, we don't need hardback. Paperback is very cool, and it's made it much more affordable, and you know, I think everyone kind of loves it. We've kept the same paper though, which I love. It's sort of cookery book paper, so it's all sort of hard and sort of rough and cool. So I love the paper we've used.
I do too. Aesthetically, it's an awesome book, and it's a fun read. A definitive almanac of all things games is the quote on the top. Now, you guys obviously sell and distribute this thing internationally. Do you print in multiple languages, or is it just in English text form?
Just in English language this year. We have done foreign language editions in previous years, but they ended up kind of being something that some guys absolutely loved, like, you know, the 1,000 copies we made for France. They sold out instantly, but it was kind of difficult to justify that sort of the expense in making 1,000 books for that. So it's a real shame, because I loved seeing it in French and Polish and all those other languages. But ultimately, you know, it's guys in the US and it's guys in the UK and Australia and South Africa that are really buying it and really enjoying it.
Now, can I ask if there's any new categories that we can expect to see, or any new top 10s or best ofs in 2013, or is it all secret?
The kind of top 10s and best of stuff I'm going to have to keep totally secret for now.
Top 10 Vectrex games of 2013.
Pretty sure there were only ever about 10 Vectrex games ever.
No, there were like 20-something. But you could easily pick the top.
There weren't that many Vectrex games.
I'm just giving you marketable ideas. That's all. You can take it or leave it. I would recommend taking it.
There are fan communities still developing for that console. So you can, you know, there's probably 2 games a year released by probably the same bunch of guys who just love their Vectrex.
Probably.
But they were murder on your eyes, weren't they? Like, I think they were established pretty quickly to do barely serious permanent retina damage.
Oh, they were all right. There's no Virtual Boy.
They were great fun. Yeah, I love playing Asteroids. But yeah, one of the records that is likely to make it in, as long as it doesn't get broken, was one I adjudicated a couple of weeks ago for the most players in an FPS battle, which was fantastic.
Really?
It was these Swedish guys who built sort of a game from scratch, very simple FPS. They were aiming for 1,000 players online simultaneously. They managed definitely 999, so they were able to prove conclusively 999 players online at the same time in the same arena. 2 sides, and I took part. It was absolutely fantastic stuff. Sort of real Lord of the Rings, Helm's Deep stuff. Nearly 1,000 players duking it out at the same time was amazing.
That's an awesome record.
Yeah, it was great to be a part of it.
And what are some of your other favorite records?
Favorite records in this year's book. I really enjoyed getting to meet Jesse Moorkirk, who he did the longest gaming session in indoor freefall. He's this enormous 6'5" mountain of a man, big Dutch guy. Must be about, I don't know, 18 stone. Huge guy. Watching him suspended, kind of like a butterfly in midair in this sort of indoor wind tunnel, the indoor skydiving simulators like this, with his Wii controller taped to his hands so it didn't hit him in the face. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Like I've never seen anything like it. And when he came out, he said it was like doing one continuous push-up while trying to play Mario at the same time.
What was that award called again?
Longest gaming session in indoor freefall.
Longest gaming session in indoor freefall. So it is possible for people to come up with some extremely clever ways to get into the book.
It is, and it's weird, the kind of stuff that you think sounds kind of, well, that sounds kind of specialized, a little weird, but then you see it, and it's just like, wow. I had no idea people could even do that.
Well,
so it's full of surprises for me.
The free-falling one is good because you never know when you might be thrown out of an airplane, but want to play Mario Kart.
Yeah. Well, what if you don't have a parachute, but you do happen to have a Wii, sort of with a TV that's falling at the same rate as you are,
and a really long extension cord for the power.
That's sort of 2.5 minutes. If you're at high altitude, you've got 2.5 minutes to play a little bit of your favorite game before you meet a sticky end.
Yeah, but you could also
be glad he did that kind of preparation.
Yeah, you could also have a generator with you and then run your TV and your Wii off the generator. That's feasible. That's feasible. But if you were doing it in orbit, which would be a continuous free fall, so that's your next thing. We got to get somebody in orbit with the longest gaming session. Or do you already have that record?
We don't. No, I don't have that record. Astronauts. I imagine astronauts probably spend a lot of time playing games anyway.
Yeah, they got to be up there playing some 3DS and stuff.
There'll be a lot of downtime, and I'm pretty sure they have the internet up on the International Space Station.
Well, you got to get in touch with them. I'm sure they've broken all kinds of crazy records up there.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. Okay, that's one for the next year's book. Astronauts gaming.
Now let's get to the important stuff here, which is what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
It's got to be Empire Strikes Back. Not only my favorite Star Wars movie, but probably the greatest science fiction movie.
I see we have the same taste in movies. That's my favorite movie as well.
To be honest, I'm not really sure I can trust anyone who doesn't think Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie.
I mean, The Empire Strikes Back is just it's a phenomenal piece of filmmaking. It's a fun movie to watch. It's also I think part of it has to be the fact it's also the first movie I remember going to the theaters to see back in 1980, but I've watched it countless times, and I agree with you 100%, but then it's got to go to Star Wars, and I think then Return of the Jedi, and they made a couple other ones, didn't they?
Not that I can recall.
No. Yeah, I don't remember any other ones.
Maybe there was like a spin-off of TV with Ewan McGregor. I can't remember.
The Ewok movie is what you're thinking of. The Ewok movie, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the Christmas special, that was great.
You excited for it coming out in 3D?
Not so much. 3D, I think, is one of those technologies that has yet to really win me over. I'm thinking of buying a new TV at the moment, trying to get an even bigger one, because I just want to see everything like really, really, really big like this.
I would agree.
And looking at the 3D stuff, I'm like, I don't really want that. It's kind of a lot more expensive. Maybe I just want a big one that only does 2D.
I'm not a big fan of 3D either, actually. I have my... I'm kind of a purist on my Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars viewing. I have the laser discs, which
nice.
I had the privilege of meeting Anthony Daniels a few years ago, and he was nice enough to autograph my laser discs. So
this is good stuff. That's before they started messing around with them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like the last cut or it was like 1995 release or 96 or something, and yeah, it doesn't have all the additional.
Just before they started putting more stuff in it that we didn't need.
Like the goofy dance sequences with wacky close-ups in Return of the Jedi, which
they were great.
I've actually gotten to a point now when watching Star Wars that I sort of am automatically ready for all of the layer switches on the Laserdisc. Something that you don't have on the DVD. You know, like the X-Wing crashes into Dagobah or something, and it's like, oh, well, the movie's supposed to stop right here, so I can get up, flip the Laserdisc, grab another beer, and keep watching. But it just keeps going. You had
to change them out like a vinyl record. You had to sort of flip them over, or
oh yeah, Laserdiscs are old school. You had to actually they're the exact size of vinyl records, and unless you have a fancy auto flipping Laserdisc player, which I don't, you just it can only show 40 minutes or something at a time before you have to flip these things. It's like putting a game on multiple cartridges.
Can you imagine trying to get someone today to do that? Introduce them. Okay, I got this great new technology. You have to flip it over. Be like, what?
Yeah, manual work in media. That's unfortunately.
Can I just get it on iTunes?
That's gone out the window. See, here's a whole new category you guys can have: best video games released on Laserdisc for 2012, which will probably be a very easy category to edit because my guess is it would be 0.
I think our readers kind of expect to be able to learn something cool. So I'm not sure that would fully qualify in that regard. Hey, well, I'll take it. I'll take it to testing, and we'll see what happens.
And don't forget the Vectrex thing. Now, how do you who do you aim the book at? This is my last big question. And who do you aim the book at, and why should people pick up the Guinness World Records 2012 Gamers Edition?
Well, like I said earlier, it's a celebration of all the cool stuff that's happened over the last 12 months in gaming, and it's in one place, and it's a cool thing to kind of pick up and flick through. So basically, anyone who loves video games will find something in there that they like. Almost, the more you love video games, the more stuff you'll find in there that you like. So it's I guess a lot of guys who read it are sort of from 12 years old up to about 18 years old. The sort of stereotypical American Call of Duty player. But there's loads.
What do you mean by that? Wait a second. Stereotypical, and every time I'm playing Call of Duty, it's all guys from your country online.
But gamers of all ages will really enjoy it. And to be honest, I really enjoy putting little nods in there to to be honest, a lot of the younger readers just won't get at all. Things like quotes. We did a thing on taglines this year. Just a quiz running across the bottom of each page with a video game tagline. Tell us what the tagline is, and we've got the answers at the back. You know, cool stuff that in there to appeal to guys who've been playing games a little too long. Basically, people like me. So there's loads of stuff in there, and if you enjoy gaming as much as me and the rest of the guys do, then I'm sure you'll love it.
Well, you've got some old stuff in here. I mean, I flipped the first page I flipped to. We've got Space Invaders, and that's the Space Invaders pinball machine from '79. You know, we got pinball records in here. You've got I think you've got everything covered really nicely. It's not just aimed at a young audience or an old audience. It's everything, and you've done a great job with that.
Well, that's kind of what Guinness World Records stands for. Like, you know, we don't aim our books at anyone in particular. You know, we just kind of want to capture as much of the world as we can and put it out there. And, you know, if people like it and people continue to like it, then we'll continue to do it. And
where can people connect with you? What's the best way that fans and viewers can connect with you guys?
Well, they can pick the book up. That's one of the best ways. The other way is head to GuinnessWorldRecords.com, or actually our gamer-specific website is gamers.guinnessworldrecords.com. They can also follow us on Twitter, GWR News. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I've enjoyed the read. I'm looking forward to 2013, and maybe there'll be a Vectrex on the cover, or a couple other Jedis lightsabering each other. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll get that down. All right, well, thank you very much, Gaz. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank everybody who's put the book together. You guys have done a phenomenal job. Thanks very much.